I am going to have a huge mess to consolidate going into retirement. I have got, so many different accounts. We got a personal checking, a business checking, a personal savings. We've got a business credit card, a personal credit card. And the sad thing is I can't really get rid of my business card because I'm still, working on YouTube, and I've got to have a place, to keep that separate. We've got, the house electric, we've got, gas, we've got, water, all the, the regular TV type stuff and cell phones and all that stuff. And I don't want to have to sit there and write checks or get on the, or have to get online and try to figure out how to pay these things every month. I'd kind of like for everything to be kind of set on auto. And when you've got, Social Security money coming in, and you've got investment money coming in for, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my rent income, the Social Security income, the YouTube income. And I really want to keep those separated. I really don't want those coming into our personal account, because I want to be able to track it, and then I'll have to file my dang gone taxes on that, which is another thing I'm getting tired of doing. But so between that and I had to park right next to a highway, didn't I? So I'm gonna have to figure out, where to have my income, what account to go into the income. I got to figure out what account I want to pay out, my personal bills and all that. And it's a nightmare just thinking about it. This is all pre-retirement stuff, but I want to get this settled before I get into retirement. Because in August, the good news is that I won't have to deal with the electric bill and water bill and trash and all that stuff from the shop, because that's going to be my apprentice's problem from then on. But I'll have my home stuff to deal with, and try to figure out those bills, how to separate, the money for the things I pay every 6 months, and I pay my property tax and my property insurance, once a year and everything. So, of course that'll be easy. We'll probably write checks on that, when we need to. But for the auto drafts, for the TV, the cell phones, the electric and all that, I want them coming out of one account. So I got to figure out which account I want money coming into for Social Security, or do I probably want to keep it separate from the ones that are for the YouTube and the, the rent on the building and everything. So it's a mess trying to figure this out. And if it weren't for stupid government, taxes and bull crap, I don't have any problem paying taxes. It's just, this is not the way to do it. This is not how a free country, handles itself. The fact that you have to have a accountant figure everything for you is ridiculous. And I could rant for hours about this, but that doesn't. But I still got to figure out, how to simplify my retirement, because I don't want to ever have to balance another checkbook. I don't ever want to do that. I'm so sick of balancing checkbooks, my business anyway. But it just seems like a never-ending mess with all the different things that goes on in life now, and how to try to get it all paid and tracked, and what you have to, and everything, and try to make it simple. That's all things I've got to do between now and August. Try to get all that figured out. Quite honestly, I'm still at this point a little stumped about it. So, me and my wife will sit down and try to figure this out. I'd like to eliminate as many accounts as possible. Now, our investment accounts, they're going to be easy to maintain online, because at least I don't have to write a check to them or, pay a bill there. We'll just be figuring out how later in life when we start using them, how to get them back into our checking account and everything. But Now with us still partially working, you know, especially my wife, you know, working at the bank and everything, we're not going to rock the boat a lot starting out. You know, we'll still have incomes other than retirement incomes, and so we don't have to get real tight on our budget yet. But obviously I still want to get control of that to some degree. I want, you know, to know what that's going to look like, even if, you know, in not counting what she makes, you know. But I want to consolidate all these bank accounts and all these, you know, get my bills paid as efficiently as I can in one place. You know, get my deposits as, you know, try to get my deposits in a proper place, easy to track. It's a headache. It's a headache. Oh my gosh. But I am going to what I am going to do is get a software called Bolden, and hopefully that'll simplify. We're going to have to see how that goes. And, you know, in a future video, I'll probably post what we ended up doing there and seeing how it works as we go. Now, feel free to leave any suggestions if you have them. You know, how have you set up your retirement accounts and simplified? Man, I'd sure like to know, you know, if you could. Now, not everybody's situation's the same, because, you know, might be a little different, because I'm not just, you know, collecting Social Security and stuff like that. I've got YouTube income, and, you know, so I'm still got the business crap going on, which would be nice to just deposit it in and never have to worry about it. But since I'm going to be getting money from YouTube, from my outdoors channel and my upholstery channel, I'm going to have to, you know, look, you know, for write-offs wherever I can get them. You know, like when I go fishing, I can write off the gas. I can, you know, if I go, you know, camping, you know, I can write off some of the equipment. I can write off, you know, some of the cost of, you know, what it takes to make a video for an outdoors thing. So that's kind of good to help, but it's also just a pain in the butt. I mean, I don't want to have to track. I may just quit filming just so I don't have to do all the book work and the, you know, and the tax crap. I don't know. But leave any suggestions you have, please. I appreciate it.